It is pointless to resist.
What's up, everyone? Welcome to another edition of the Sarlacc Digest, a podcast bringing line talk and digesting Star Wars topics over 1,000 years. This is episode 242, being recorded on January 17th, 2023. I'm back. I'm your host, Darth Moocher. Got Scott Solo here with me.
What's up, nerds?
Got Grand Admiral Franz.
Hi, guys. I'm back to the bottom and not hosting anymore. I get grounded.
You got grounded. But by the way, you did a fantastic job hosting. So I feel like when I miss, I mean, this show's in great hands. So
thanks, Marco.
That's the only compliment I'm going to give you. Can't give him too many. So, got it. All right, back to it.
Keep us on our toes.
Yeah, we got Bootleg Joe. He's in the chat room. He's still sick. So everybody has been wishing him to get well soon, Joe. Yeah, absolutely, man. And Ernie is still celebrating 500 subscribers over there on his channel. I'm sure that's gotta be a thing. Congratulations, Ernie. I know he's having a blast over there. It's so I don't think he's gonna make it. If he does, we'll say hi. But
always partying over there, Ernie's shop,
dude. I'm happy for him.
Hey, we're over here celebrating 3K.
Yeah, we got
Woo!
3,000 subs over here. Woo! Thank you
That's what's
everybody for that. And Scott, I of course giving you credit on that because that's the 1 minute toy reviews that are just bringing everybody in. Everybody's so interested in toys. We might have to do a separate segment every once in a while, maybe not on the main show, but like a separate toy section because I know not everybody's into the toys and to talk like an hour of it. So maybe we'll do something that's isolated. Everybody's invited, of course, but
Of course.
yeah,
That could be fun. Why not?
I mean, we can't let the toys interrupt all the great Star Wars news and fandom that's out there either. So
I'm sorry. Did you just use the words great and fandom in the same sentence?
I did. I don't know. It's a rumor.
Okay.
I just want to say I love the sly, and I hope that was a Lando quote when you did it. How sly that was when you said everyone's invited, of course.
Yeah,
I love that. I just love how slick you are.
Do you not know me?
Like, I know.
You
Just
not
like
know me to movie quote.
yeah, it's lovely. It's lovely.
I piss people off with my movie quotes sometimes, right, Scott?
Yeah. I want to make sure that was
right.
I just want to make sure that was appreciated because I appreciated it.
Thank you,
All
Chris.
right.
Sometimes we'll see.
I didn't appreciate it. Not at all.
But before we get into all the rest of the Star Wars talk that we've got going on today, I'm going to kick it over to Scott so we can shout out our Shadow Council and everybody's being digested in the pit. So, Scott, it's all yours.
All right. Hey, thanks everybody for joining us, especially our Shadow Council. Well, all of you, we love all of you equally, but the Shadow Council, they donate money to us. So we've got to give them shout outs. Just the way it goes. And I heard a dirty rumor that the t-shirts are currently being produced.
Yes.
Maybe?
Yes.
Yeehaw.
We heard from our
So-
guy. Yes, we heard from
the
our guy. And yeah, they're coming soon. Coming soon.
Hey.
TM.
So, keep an eye out on your mailboxes. AJ from the Forbidden Panel, Brandon and Anya Epler, Brian C., Cliff, Crystal E., Dennis McGrath, Don the Dad Dorn, Eric Grubb, Flavy Davy, formerly of the Nerds with Attitude podcast, Gavin Connor from the Holy Hour All Cure podcast, Justin the Vanilla Thunder, our newest member, Luke O'Brien. Welcome aboard, Luke O'Brien. Coming at us from the European Union, somewhere over there.
Nice.
I know. So international. Irvine Bolanos, Matt Logic, Nicholas Schaefer, Papa Schmitty, who Papa Schmitty did get his care package from his visit with us on the show. So very glad he got all that. And it looked great. And then, of course, Ryan and the Star Joe's podcast. So, are you interested in becoming a Shadow Council member? If so, scan that QR code. I don't know why I'm flipping my hands around. None of you could see what I'm doing anyway, but scan that QR code, donate a couple of bucks a month. We really appreciate it. It goes back into the production of the show. So, yeah. Thanks, everybody.
We might need a soundboard.
Every once in a while when something happens, like with Luke O'Brien and being on the other side of the planet, right?
Mhm.
It reminds me like how cool the internet is and how cool this podcast is for us. And ever since before COVID, but especially since COVID, how we've got to reach, clear across the world. That's pretty neat. I know we got a lot of locals in here. A lot of folks are actually from the desert. And you think that's kind of our world, right? We're desert folk up here. We've all been here forever. But the fact that we're, branched out that far, that makes you, it's neat.
Yeah, no, it is because the Star Wars
like,
family, we need places to crash when we go to Celebration, Europe, Japan.
Yeah,
it's like when Miss Sunflower joins us. She's on an island somewhere. It's crazy.
Yeah.
We've got international people listening.
We're collecting people for room and board for B&Bs. So
what we're doing. Wow,
I always got to make it weird. I'm sorry, but thank you, everybody. So
we're all appreciating everybody. Marco's looking for a place to crash. What are you guys doing?
Oh boy!
Congratulations, it's 3 40-year-olds. You lucky devil. All right. So currently digesting
almost 50-year-old.
I was gonna say one of us is gonna be 50 pretty soon.
Yeah,
sooner than later.
I got some time left, Chief.
Yeah, we got. Woo.
Yeah, it's,
anyway,
it's like one more of those, isn't it? Somewhere around
it's coming up. Yeah. September, everybody. I expect lots of well wishes.
Oh, yeah.
So currently digesting in the pit, we've got Rhino Hobbies. We've got our pals. Speaking of a desert rat, Gordon Skalski. What's up, Gordon? We got Mr. Bootleg Joe, the diseased man himself. something else, and it's just hanging on for dear life. We've got Don the Dad Dorn. That's right. My father-in-law is in here. What's up, Dad? Who else we got? We got Crystal E, fresh from the basement at work, because she does have an office in the basement. We've got Brian C joining us. What is up, Brian C? Who else have we got? Let's see. We've got Gavin Connor. What's up, Gavin? We've got Jay Gooding. This is really working out good. We've got Papa Schmitty.
Right or roll.
Yes, I'm trying to time it as you say it.
All right. So that's it.
You know, I always pay
People
attention
don't
to
realize how much production that took. Sorry.
it did, man. It was a lot of cord. There was a lot of feeding off at you know.
You can't tell how much
energy.
work they're doing. I'm doing jack shit. I'm just like,
Crystal doesn't want this.
I'm here to interrupt Marco before his points. That's all. Go ahead, Marco. Sorry.
Exactly. Thank you. No, it's cool. I dug this out of the closet in my little Darth Maul jersey because of Isaac Escalera saying on Facebook he posted a Darth Maul picture. I'm like, you know something? I got one that's really cool and unique. And I remember the day I bought it saying Darth Maul's going all 3 movies. This guy's gonna be the biggest badass in Star Wars history. He's gonna go face to face with Vader. Chris and I had theories on him, and yeah, so it's cool. I mean,
I had the blue jersey. We matched. We would go to movies matching.
Oh,
yes.
cute.
Yeah. Look, it even says episode 1 on there. Look at that. But
we kind of matchy now.
Kind of, yeah.
I'm wearing my jersey. A little bit.
Oh man, but
and
yeah,
the good thing is it still fits, right?
Barely.
Right?
Look
After
at this
all these
thing.
years.
Look at this
No,
thing.
shut
Look
up.
at these
It
buttons.
still
Hey,
fits.
that's a
It's
really
the
good point, dude.
muscles.
Yeah.
It still fits all these years later. So congratulations, man.
I was big back then. He would be jealous. Yeah, he posted something on Facebook again with the whole Darth Maul thing, and it's just wanted to kind of give him a shout out and to have everybody pay attention to our Sarlacc Digest Central or community over at Facebook too, because we do interact there and we do listen. So
yeah, it changed the whole wardrobe for him.
I did. Wasn't gonna wear anything,
and he's not even here to appreciate it.
Somebody tell Scott wear a dress next week.
Somebody tell Scott to wear a dress.
Put it in the Sarlacc Central Digest. So
Yeah, that's not
Digest
gonna
Central.
That was funny. Well, of course, you know, it's more the same going on right now, right, in the Star Wars universe, right? There's besides last week with the big news drops of like a new movie, Ahsoka season 2 was kind of like confirmed in the wording, you know, it wasn't like an official announcement. It was just like in the text, there was a secret Ahsoka's 2. But of course, this week, everybody had time to marinate that whole everything, and everything was being canceled again. Everything was not being canceled again. Things are just running all over the place, and I find it kind of funny. And I know that I saw somebody bring this up, was like, oh, Gordon brought it up. You think it was Damage Control that they announced the Grogu Mandalorian movie to kind of curb the stuff that the Rey director is getting. What's her name?
Obeyed.
Thank you.
Oh, I lost her name. That's only a third of her name, dude.
I know. So Ochoy. Yeah. So, yeah,
Ochoy. Yeah, I don't want to be disrespectful.
Yeah.
I would do that to anybody, but
yeah,
I'll find it. She's
but,
on a recent search of mine, I'm sure.
Yeah, and of course now I kind of think of like, okay, now I don't think like Disney or Lucasfilm.
Charmaine Obeyed Chinoy. Which Miss Marvel episodes did Charmaine Obeyed Chinoy direct?
That's right.
Yeah, that was my Google search.
Was your search? Yeah, because I mean the controversy is to me, the controversy isn't honestly what she says in her activism documentaries and stuff like that. It's the fact that why is someone handed a mega IP like Star Wars blockbuster with nothing to back it? Now, J.J. Abrams was handed a mega IP.
Yeah. She has, don't get me wrong, she has 25 Emmys. 25. Yeah. But those are based on short story documentaries. Short ones. Yeah. Right? That's not big budget. Here's $400 million for you to go make me a $3 billion movie. That's not what that is. That's not the person that is, right? Forget the other stuff. Forget everything else that everybody's fighting about, right? Yeah. It doesn't matter. That alone, don't get me wrong, George Lucas was straight out of school making this stuff, right? But it's coming from his imagination. So there is some stuff for that. There's precedent within Star Wars for that. It's just at this point, you got to be a little careful.
But by Star Wars, by the time he's making Star Wars, he already had a blockbuster with American Graffiti. You know, he had already at least been out there proving that he could make a 2-hour plus long movie that really did well.
And he did go to film school with some of the greatest filmmakers in history, right?
Yeah.
She did, and
yeah.
she didn't go to film school at all.
Right.
And that's the trip, right? It's
that's
not-
where I question. Okay, so because with given that kind of point, and like I said, given a Star Wars sci-fi science fiction movie, this isn't real life. You don't take it from Earth standards and put your just stuff in there. And she's not writing it. Okay. She's directing. Right. She's taking the vision of the writer and doing it that way. So there is that too, where people should a little bit calm down. It's like she's just taking a vision. I don't think she has the power, especially with Dave Filoni in charge of the story group now. It's charge of everything, and being like everything has to be like kind of like A, B, C, D. Get your numbers in line. I'm a little bit more calm on the fact that okay, she's going to give us a good Star Wars movie. I'm hoping. We had people that had those mega things behind them. To me, in my opinion, and I'll speak for myself, kind of screw up a Star Wars trilogy in J.J. Abrams. Even Rian Johnson, to a point. I mean, he had a lot of movies behind him. So this is a different direction. I'm not giving an excuse. I'm just saying this is the facts. It's given a different person the reins of different experience and maybe something great can come out of it. I'm trying to be the optimistic of it. I'm trying to. I don't have a lot of optimism when it comes to sequel timeline anyway. So, and if it is like a bogus movie, I'm just like, so what? It's sequel timeline. That's a horrible thing to be in.
You're in the toss. You're in the toss way. You know what? Maybe that's what they're penning on right now, right? You know what? The sequel trilogy, the sequel era is more geared towards the now, right? This
yes,
and maybe
the
that's
current
the climate, and that's not for us. That's not for us. I mean, that gives us. Oh shit! Really, you just think about it. You have this 30 years away. We don't have to deal with it.
That's what I'm saying.
The fact that our heroes die in there, we don't have to deal with. Just go backwards through time.
It's a legit
Han and
different
Leia
generation.
Before Luke,
Yeah.
You can have all that time back there, and then everything from that point on they can have, and then we don't have to worry about it. But we'll have it. I'm still going to obviously watch it, memorize it, and whatever. It's not for us.
That's what I'm saying. It's a different generational Star Wars to true now. All the legendary characters are gone, and now it's a 15-year time jump, and now it's something where we kind of have a choice to be like, all right, do we dive in? I mean, of course we will. I think we will because we're Star Wars fans. We love the whole thing anyway. But there's also that cutoff period of like, Mandalorian, and that's it. Right. Mandalorian and be in the past.
This is for us now, right?
Yeah. Papa Schmitty saying, I'll watch it half a dozen times, either loving or hating it. Watch it. Yeah, I think Papa Schmitty like
I'll hate watch it too. Like, this is so stupid. Why am I watching this? And picking apart. And
for us, I think if it's too distant to our idea of Star Wars, then there is that cutoff. There is that safety net, I guess, right? Of where we can go, okay, well, we just don't consume anything that's past whatever. I mean, like I said, and to me, I hate that would be even an option. I'm not, of course we're talking here. This is nothing has sparked my alarms yet, I guess, on that. Like, I'm going to hate this no matter what. I'm not going to, I don't go into it arms folded. I won't. I refuse to.
Damn, I wish there was because this is a segue into our later topic. I mean,
it is.
There's one thing that's making me ready to hate it, but we'll get to that later.
But in canon, I guess we'll say in canon, it's going to suck to pick and choose. I don't want to do that, and sometimes like I'm finding myself kind of like almost headed that way, and when it comes to like sequel stuff, and I just can't get my head around it. I thought I could, when we first started watching the movie, I was trying to be like, yeah, putting on that fake smile and thumbs up, and this is great. And I just don't see myself doing it, lately. And I'm not trying to be negative with it. I'm just trying to say like, okay, it is what it is.
Because if you're not revisiting it, right?
I'm not.
It wasn't
can't
great.
do it. I can't hit play.
I can hit play on any of the first 6. I can hit play on Solo. I can hit play on Rogue One. I can hit play on any of the series, including Boba Fett. But when I get to this, I can hit Force Awakens. Last Jedi takes me some coercing. So I'm like, well, there's some cool. I'll talk to myself into it.
Yeah.
Right? Rise of Skywalker, man, I've got to be like, I'm doing it for a reason. I'm doing it for the show. I need to find something out in the canon that's throwing me off. I don't remember something. I've watched it only a couple of times, and each time I watched it, I'm like, damn, that happened?
Yeah.
I don't even remember that.
I'm
not to that point with that movie. which is
Yeah.
wild.
Yeah. Go ahead, Scott. Go ahead,
No,
go ahead,
I just
chime in there.
I would like to point out something that you see. I don't know who said it. It's in the chat somewhere, but it's all about also the words on the screen. If there's a decent enough story behind it, I mean, if the words on the page are good and she's got a vision for it, it has the potential to be something truly unique.
Sure.
And something
I agree.
fun. So I'm not going to I am crossing my arms right now, but I'm not going to go in arms folded like,
Yeah.
no, I don't want to watch it. But
It's not like it's her project from the ground up. It's a
Right.
collaboration of many people, and
all collaborative. But at the same time, a lot of the it's what we've got to as fans of the series, as fans of the property, and as people with a podcast to go online and we do the research, we go out there, we look at what people are saying. Good God, these next few years are gonna be a slog.
it
on
is,
the
man.
internet. It's
And that's 100%. Like this
Yeah.
week kind of proved it again. It's
Mhm.
taking words out of context, and
Mhm.
also years ago she said things that didn't agree, and that was her mind frame on doing those kind of projects. And I think people are putting that into the now. Like she came out yesterday and came out press conference and said those things now. That'd be kind of different, right? That
No,
would
the
be
only
like,
thing she
okay,
said now that got everybody started, and it was her own fault, was it's about time.
yeah.
Once you say that, and you just took the place of a woman director, Patty Jenkins was going to be.
I know, right? Yeah.
And
exactly.
so you're the second
Yeah.
choice here, dear.
I can't
but
defend that. I
was
can't
no,
defend that.
because you just know what you're playing with fire is all.
Yeah.
You know what you're playing with fire. I think once we stop with the whole first to everything, we're going to be a lot better. But it's that. Just take it. All you gotta do is say, "Hey, I can't believe I get to direct a Star Wars movie."
It started that way.
Kidding me? George
started
Lucas
that way,
created this,
remember?
and I get this. I get to do this. No way.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do you guys proud.
Yeah.
I can't wait to get working on it. Pow. Why
She
is
did
it gotta
say
be?
something
It's
like that.
about time.
Yeah,
You
no,
don't need that.
she said something like that and then followed up with that. She said, like, what I'm giving is like, we're creating something special. We're creating something great. And Daisy really is in on it. She's like, this is great. I read the script and I'm all in. You know what I mean? Like other actors are like, no, I'm done. I'm not doing Star Wars anymore, blah, 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 and moving on. But Daisy really was like, because she's in it and it's for her or part of it, whatever. She started that like, this is great, but also it's about time. And that's was like, wait a second. You just downplayed a lot of people that have done great things in Star Wars, and you're making it all about you. You know what I mean? You're making it all about you.
Yeah, look at Papa Schmitty's last comment right there. That's it.
Yeah. So
rule number 1.
Initial press conference game plan. Don't say
and I'm sure
something stupid.
Kennedy and everybody right there and said, "Hey, just be cool. Let's not Raleigh's focus up. Let's just go with it." And as soon as he said that, there's like this.
Yeah.
Everybody, Bob Iger somewhere kicking a cat, dude.
Yeah.
He's totally
I just said we're not.
Yeah, said, don't say anything to rile these people up.
Yeah.
Everybody it is self-suicide in the entertainment world these days. You know what I mean? That's the world we live in, and it sucks because I wish we can go back to like we've mentioned in our little chat and stuff. Like I wish we can go back to Star Wars Insider. I wish we can go back to that kind of like, oh my God, there's a movie being produced here, and that's all we get is that article.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden there's a movie trailer. And I would honestly take a lot of things back to get to that point, but
because this back and forth this week was ridiculous.
It's already bombed and it hasn't done
nothing.
nothing.
It hasn't filmed. They haven't filmed a frame of it. They don't
Yeah.
even know if the script is 100% complete yet.
It's not,
and yet it's already bombed, right?
Yeah.
Real quick,
We'll
let's give some shout outs real quick.
Please
We've
do.
got Isaac Escalera joining us.
Hey, Isaac.
He had to check
Look
in
at
on
that.
the amazing shirts. There we go. Very cool.
Thanks, man.
We also have Junobi. We've got Julianne Fernie from Alaska popping in. What is up? Do you think there is any truth to the rumor Favreau was leaving and the movie was given to him to stop him from leaving?
I don't think so. I think he's in the long term. I mean,
he acted like he would do this forever when they asked him before. So that's
got nothing but great compliments, and I think he's got a great vision for the future, and he knows it. So to leave this kind of thing to do what? I mean, he's done a lot already.
Or he didn't have. I could see it. Also, he didn't have time for a full series. Could do a film. Let's be the same, just about. You would think.
I mean, there's a big team on his stuff now. You know what I mean? So it's not like it doesn't all rest
be
on his
there all
shoulders.
day. Yeah.
Yeah. So
I don't know.
We've also got Jeff Krasulak What is up, Jeff?
What's up, man?
Welcome aboard. Star Wars will return. Yes, indeed, it will. The
And
Science
welcome.
Fictionary. Yes, and welcome. We've got the Science Fictionary.
What's up, Science?
Popping in. Let's see. And Santo 1414.
What's up, man?
Popping
Hey,
in to let us know
is
that
running long. Yeah.
Ernie's running a bit behind.
He gave me a warning, said that he's because he missed last week. He missed his own show last week, and it was probably one of his best shows that they ever did.
Damn.
I'm not saying like content. I'm just saying like, and everybody, he had like 8 people on. But anyway,
I got you.
Catch the replay. It was good. But yeah, so
But
okay,
this week, let's talk about this week real quick.
Yeah.
So all of a sudden you get a report from Making Star Wars, right, from MSW, that they have a source that says the Rey movie not canceled so much, but put on the shelf indefinitely.
Postponed indefinitely.
Indefinitely meaning it's going to cancel in 6 months.
That's the Rogue Squadron.
Or hopefully
movie.
everybody forgets about it. Right, Rogue Squadron, not Lando, because that's not indefinite, right? That's just delayed.
That's just whenever,
right?
Indefinitely.
But they don't say indefinitely with that. When it's indefinitely, you're dead. Right.
Yeah.
So delayed indefinitely, and that's from when they put things out, they're pretty on that kind of stuff, right? But then a couple hours later, you get a report. Was it Gizmodo or IO9 or something? I forget where it was.
It's a lot of respectable sites. Let's put it that way.
Saying no, it's still a go. The problem I had with that article is they started popping off with people are just mad because a woman is directing a woman. And I'm like, oh, once you throw your opinion in there like that, I have trouble with the article. So I don't know. Right.
Yeah. Just deliver the news. Don't put emotion behind it.
That's it. Now we deliver the news and put emotion behind it. That's what we're supposed to do. Right. But when you're delivering news like that and you're putting out an article and it's not written as an editorial, you just have to be, this is the facts.
Very true.
That's it.
Very true.
But can you be the facts when you're spreading rumors? So what does it matter?
I don't know. The rumor was the writer Stephen Knight was abandoning the project
because he had too many notes back.
Yes, therefore it was being delayed indefinitely and stuff. And then it would come back like, nope, he's not going anywhere. In fact, the script is turned in. They're just doing the final prep work so they can start a schedule of production. And it kind of went full circle. And there,
but see, here's the thing: that when you get a source, it depends on how close to the top you are, right? Yeah. Because there are things happening in I've talked to you guys about this, right? There are things happening in every business that certain levels or maybe a small circle of people know, and other people that are usually very, very reliable just aren't in that circle at the moment because it's a high level thing. Something I don't know, like canceling a Rey movie would be a high level, high circle thing, right? Yeah. And Bob Schmo over here, who usually knows everything because he's in everybody's business, is just left out this time and doesn't know. So he could debunk it because he hasn't heard yet, or vice versa. Yeah. So it's hard with these rumors and everything changes. But here's the thing, man. Until they're filming anything, nothing matters anymore.
Nothing's official till it's official.
Until it's actually on film. And even then, watch DC and everybody, even when it's on film, it's not official till we get our eyeballs on it.
And then it's not really good until you get a director's cut.
Ow.
That feels very pointed, Snyder. Yes.
As soon as it's released 3 hours later, I have a better version.
Exactly.
As soon as you guys
Gordon is asking, does anybody know Stephen Knight's track record? What else has he written? I don't, and I'm going to look that up. In fact, I think I look at Scott looking it up right now.
I am looking it up right now. Stephen Knight
that is a good question, actually.
It is. Dirty Pretty Things, Locke, Serenity, Eastern Promises, Peaky Blinders. So he's a writer on.
That's right, the Peaky Blinders writer. Yeah. I remember that. Yeah.
And creator. So he's the creator.
Oh
of Peaky Blinders also.
So he is in the camp with Gareth Edwards then. So and Tony Gilroy.
A show called C with Aquaman. What the hell's his name? I forget his name. Momoa, thank you. Yeah, so he's got quite a bit under his belt, including world building. So I'm impressed. I like that. I like the aspect that he's built worlds before. So
and that's really happy with the creator. And I heard great things about Peaky Blinders. I've never watched it, but
I need to check out the creator. What's it on?
Did he write the creator?
Creator was in the movie theater, and I think it's got to be coming to streaming soon if it's not already here.
You're right.
Jeff is asking, how often do you guys go live? This is my first week. I subscribed. Thank you so much. Welcome to the show. I'm glad that you're here to stay. We go live every Wednesday, 8 p.m. Pacific time. So, and if it's too late, you catch us on the replay. So
And
usually,
we also have daily drops too for toy
Yeah.
reviews and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So check
the
those
channel
out
is never silent.
no,
Let's put it
because
that way.
we also have 2 other people that come on with us, two other hosts, so we'd have 5 people. You don't ever miss a Wednesday unless we tell you ahead of time. Normally,
Right.
Right,
Yeah,
so
you'll know. Yeah, exactly. Hit
there'll be
that bell
some kind of
notification to
different people
everybody
hosting.
so you get the reminders to that
Yep.
too. So, but yeah, so again, it was it's the juggling act going on. But the one thing that happened last week was the Mandalorian Grogu movie that was just kind of out of nowhere. Boom, we're doing a movie, right? And I know you guys talked about it.
Real quick, just to interrupt you because you know how much you love being interrupted. Did you see the amount of internet just rage about the Mandalorian and Grogu about the movie title?
Oh, that's what I was going to ask you guys.
Put so much. How could they do this? How could they come up with this name? You put all these millions of dollars, and your name of your movie is The Mandalorian and Grogu.
Yeah, I was going to ask you if that was like an actual thing, because I mean, everybody's saying it's the Mandalorian Grogu movie. I didn't know if that's the Star Wars, it's Star Wars story, Mandalorian Grogu, because that got me really thinking about some bad things actually, and I get into
the show is just called The Mandalorian.
If
So
you
why adding in there and Grogu? Why is that difficult? Why is that a problem?
I'll tell you why I can see it as a problem, but not a bad thing, like not a disruption. If you got announcement that there are some rumors out there that season 4 has also been in like whatever in production or coming, not in production but coming. And then you got saying people with another rumor saying like, all right, so the movie's going to tie in season 4 or be in the last 2 episodes of the movie or the series and have this big cinematic finale. With the title like Mandalorian Grogu doesn't seem like it's connected to anything other than Mandalorian Grogu altogether.
Right.
And that's where I'm like, do I want to go to the movie theater and just see a side adventure as great and epic as that could be, but have no impact on the story? Is that a smart move?
Yeah, it won't be a side.
I don't know about you guys, but that Blue Harvest movie was excellent when it was released.
Yeah, it's so early on. There's
it could be a working title,
we don't know the old
title.
We don't know the Old Republic title. We don't know the Rey movie title. The Grogu and Mandalorian. They just put both of them in there. I think it's just because it would be cool would be to come up on the screen the Mandalorian and have like a S like burn in, like somebody's trying to cut through, something like that. And then you're dealing with Grogu as a Mandalorian with him, the Mandalorians, and then you're cool.
That's why I asked if that was the official title, because I haven't seen anything that says official title. I'm just saying that's the movie.
No,
that's just the working title. The Mandalorian and Grogu are getting a movie. The Mando and Grogu movie is basically it. So,
I mean, they are very basic on their Solo, Lando coming eventually, right?
Like Mooch was saying, does it really matter? It's Grogu and the Mandalorian, or Mandalorian and Grogu. Yeah. You get what you get. I mean, the Mandalorian and Grogu, Heir to the Empire Part 1.
But if that's the part. That's the part right there. That's the piece. You need to Heir to the Empire Part 1.
I got goosebumps.
Yeah, that's the part.
And I was because that's what my first instinct is like, okay, that doesn't seem like it's a continuation of like what we do is how everything that we've been getting is an analysis of the story, the post Return of the Jedi, 30 years in between, and where we dissect everything, especially after Ahsoka. There was so much there. And then to have a side adventure, which like Papa Smith said, I'm going. Look, I'm not an arms folded guy. I'll bring up questions and I might raise an eyebrow. I'm like, okay, that was fun, but I kind of really want to just get into the meat and potatoes of things that they're setting up instead of waiting another 5 years. If it's like Mandalorian Grogu in this time frame when we left them off, they're at retirement home doing their thing, and all of a sudden they get kicked off to this adventure, come back into the fray with season 4, then it's kind of like this, where Chris would say a cash grab. He would call that a cash grab. And other people would be like, that was a fun adventure. I'm not saying that you say that with Star Wars. You say it with, you and I have a thing with The Hobbit. So it's like
the books.
But anyway,
yeah.
I mean, look, that's the thing, right? It's like we're very protective of the IP. We're very protective of Star Wars stuff, and we want to see, like, honestly, I'm lying if I say, hey, look, I watch it for myself and I just go home with it and I'm cool with it. I like to see the people get excited about Star Wars.
Me too.
I like talking about Star Wars. I like the pit. I like meeting people, and I'm like, everybody's cool. When something cool happens on screen, I'm like, oh my God, that's amazing. And it's fun to be in the collective. It really is.
It's fun to smack five and be happy.
It is, man.
It's like being a sports fan, right? When you're at a
game
and something's going on, you're smacking five on a home run or something's going on. I think you get pumped.
100%.
I miss the days of going to the local comic book store, sitting there at the the counter and talking shit about it all, and enjoying it and living in the moment and getting opinions. That's why I love hanging out with you guys on here and going bowling and stuff. Whenever we get to go bowling, it's fun to just sit there and talk to your buddies about this stuff. So
and that's where sometimes when certain projects get announced, I kind of go like, man, that's cool, but like, that's not going to get the cheerleading moment, man. The fist pumping in the air. And
it's really not, dude. And the Mandalorian and Grogu will. I guarantee that one will. Mm-hmm. The thing is, I don't care about the title on that one. I know what's happening. I understand where we're going. Now. Mandalorian's been laying breadcrumbs with Carson for years, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we know there's something.
I guess my question is, what if the movie doesn't and it comes back to the series to pick up those breadcrumbs? Like, what if the movie was just something that was just a cool, epic, fun adventure, but had nothing, like no impact to the story whatsoever?
No,
like,
I don't think there's. Don't what if me right now. We're just going to segue in a second
because we're going into that pretty soon. But what if that was a side adventure?
Make any sense? It wouldn't even. Make
it doesn't.
Sense
That and that's where I'm getting at. Like
if that happened, I'd be pissed. I'd be like, oh, cool. I got a long Mandalorian.
I'd be disappointed, man. As fun as that, like
pissed.
Like Solo really didn't have an impact on the overall thing, other than the Darth Maul moment.
But that's okay, because that part of time I didn't need anything to do. Right now, I need something to connect. Right now,
that's true.
With the story going on, right. Solo is just filling into space.
It's a filler, and I with that title, Mandalorian Grogu, if it was just like this thing to get the theatrical audience involved and get back to the movies, and it's just like this cool adventure that they went on, but again, we ignored Thrawn, we ignored the New Republic, we just did this thing. That would be a letdown, but at the same time, it'd be cool. But again, like, okay, we wasted time. We just wasted 4 years that we could have had Heir of the Empire Part 1. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like we could have put our resources to work better, right?
But I'm going to stay with this fact that it's Heir.
Yeah. And even if it isn't, I mean, still, it's been 4 epic years of really cool Star Wars content,
But it's just I feel like it's just beginning to kind of veer off a path and then come back. You know what I mean? Like, we've had 4 years of epic, like groundbreaking, ground laying story work that we just started.
We just got the prequel,
and we got to get
what we got.
Yeah,
we're doing it in weird order now, right? I know where we're at in the saga, but for this story, we're actually going linear with this, right? We're going across, and that's weird. So we just finished the prequels. Now, what we would have normally done in the Star Wars world is we'd start now, do this, and then get the backfill, and then we would have loved the Mandalorian that way. Now we're just going to start with everybody. We're already everybody's in place. Let's go. We just finished the first trilogy basically, and now we're hitting the second with the rest of this, with
the prologue,
whatever it is. I
hear you. No, I hear you 100%, man. And that's where the talk goes into the next rumor of what if, Star Wars. And everybody knows what if is in the Marvel universe, but in the Marvel universe, it does kind of fit the narrative of their overall thing, because the multiverses is a thing that they're bringing in. So like, those what if stories could be, potential canon. I'm just saying.
And we all, you say we all know what if stories are, but just to recap for anybody who might not be a MCU follower, the What If series on Disney Plus is a bunch of animated shorts that basically say, what if Peggy Carter was Captain Britain instead of Captain America? What if Steve Rogers didn't get the super serum, but Peggy Carter did? What if Peter Quill was immediately dropped off with his father instead of becoming a guardian of the galaxy? That kind of thing, and the ramifications.
What if Obi-Wan lost his battle with Vader? Right, like that's where it comes into the Star Wars world.
So, but the thing before we leave the Marvel part, we leave that, the thing is they have a multiverse, right?
Yes.
And at first they said these are what ifs, but as soon as the multiverse unlocked fully, like we're in full on TVA multiverse madness,
this happened
right?
in this universe right
now. The what if is canon.
Right.
And now What If pops into other stuff. Doctor Strange had his they're all
Right.
popping in now, right? I mean, even the Spider-Man animated movies are going to be freaking partially canon.
Into
right?
the Spider-Verse.
Into the Spider-Verse. All
Mhm.
that's canon. So you start
Yeah.
popping off What Ifs, all of a sudden we're going to start fucking around with the damn World Between Worlds, and we're going to be Marvel, where they're falling apart right now in the multiverse, and that's a problem. I don't need that madness over here. And
Yeah,
just,
it does. It does.
They call
open a-
multiverse of madness. Multiverse is madness. It is.
Yeah. It does open a Pandora's box when it comes to like if everything went so chaotic, they were like, hey, we went all these what if stories, let's just bring those in, so then we can explore all these timelines and never run out of stories to do. Like, we can't screw it up because we could just veer off to this timeline
and everybody
we'll
can
just
choose
use
their own
World Between
adventure
Worlds.
and just do whatever, and everybody can be
and then
happy
we'll
over
use
here and happy over here. Yeah.
World Between Worlds to do it. It's already set up. It's almost like, oh crap, it's set up that way, and then we go. and then as we were just talking about, like a side adventure thing, to me it's a waste of time. As cool as we like to talk about and theorycraft in line together, waiting to go see a canon Star Wars film, we talk about this stuff. Hey guys, what if Obi-Wan lost? What, like, how would Anakin react to this? And what if, like, who said it in the chat? Facebook user, who is that? Is that Nebulous?
That's Scott Winters. No, it's
Scott Winters. Hey man.
Yeah.
So he's saying, what if Luke and Leia join Vader? Like that. Those are the things that we kind of like theorycraft in our heads. But do we want to see it? I don't think so. Because I don't want anything to make these creators use it as canon. Like Chris was saying, like there's our fallback. And I think Dave Filoni, he's smart enough to not do that. Like he knows better.
Well,
You know?
is he though? Because I thought Fahey was smart enough not to screw up the MCU. I mean, how could you? It was foolproof.
But they had source material. Marvel did, because that's where the comic books did, right? So they were kind of like doing the
Star Wars
comic book
did too. Star Wars did too, because they
But
had Star Wars Infinities, and Star Wars Infinities was the Star Wars version.
Yeah, of course they had Legends and expanded EU and stuff. And I know they have source material, which I'm saying is that, like, I know they call it the MCU is a separate timeline in this, Earth.
Yeah.
And then there's all these other things that are blending, and now we can like go like when we go X-Men, it's going to be in a different universe. It's like the X-Men that we're going to follow is not even going to be the Avengers. You know what I mean? They won't even have cross paths. And so Star Wars never did that. And there's no source material with Star Wars doing that. There's source material of Marvel doing that in the comic books, because they all exist. They all restarted, rebooted, you know what I'm saying? Like
no cross-pollinating.
A new 52, DC, new 52, and Fit Crisis. They had all these timelines, and they just reinvent themselves every 6 months.
Yeah, but Star Wars has done it too. From Dark Horse to from Marvel to Dark Horse to Marvel.
Never canon.
Dark Horse. But at the same time, Marvel comics are never canon with the movies and the TV shows.
But
so
there was no catalyst to bring it together. Now the What If would be, and the World Between Worlds would be,
if they follow the Marvel path,
right?
I mean, there's nothing saying they have to follow the Marvel path. And Star Wars had their Infinity series, which was, what if Luke had joined Vader? What if Luke had died and Leia had joined Vader and Leia had faced Vader? That kind of thing. There was a lot. That's where Tag and Bink came from, where the Star Wars Infinity series.
Isn't that where Maul's spider legs first got seen?
Yes.
Yes.
Maul's spider legs
first, right?
Yeah.
It was called Visions.
That's what he's saying. Yeah. Infinities are Visions.
Infinities and Visions. There's both of them were kind of what if stories. Infinities went off the rails. I mean, it was like way out there, true what if stories. And Visions were just like moments in Star Wars. At that point, canon was canon. Even if George Lucas didn't say it was canon, the stories and the comics and the books, they all tied together. They formed their own cohesive universe within the movie realm too. Yeah. So the Visions were just little side stories that took place in between movies, where Infinities was whole batshit crazy, whole hog, what if stories.
Okay. Yeah, you're right. But here's the real issue. The real issue here with doing what ifs is the fandom, the normal fandom, right? Not the super uber nerds. Well, actually, maybe the super uber nerds, they have a problem with this too. We have trouble with one canon and legends. If you throw in what if and you say, okay, Luke's now dark. Oh no, forget the dark, because we can all play around with that. We don't have to mess with the original trilogy. You can play in the original trilogy. You can. You can absolutely do a what if with Vader and Luke. You can do that.
Yes.
What you can't do is go beyond there. Once you
Right.
get past the Mando verse and you start dealing in sequel territory, then it's gonna get messy. Then it's like, no, this is the Luke I wanted. This is the Luke. What if he didn't go on Octo? What if he didn't try to kill Ben?
This is what we could have had.
Then it becomes that. This is what we could have had. If you do that in the original trilogy, everybody's gonna be like, F off. We got the original trilogy. You can't make it better.
I was I was trying to come up with a interesting what if story. People were saying if you could, and this is the internet right now. The internet is all a buzz of, okay, so the what if is going to happen. Everybody knows it's going to happen. What would you like to see? And I'm like, okay, I'll play this game. You know what I would really like to see? If they were going to do a what if series, I would like it to be a true what if. Ezra is in the world between worlds. He's rescued Ahsoka. He has that moment where he's standing there and he could reach through. He could save Kanan. He could save Kanan, right? I would like to see a what if story like that. If he saved Kanan, what would the ramifications be? Would the paradox be Ezra disappears all of a sudden because he was on that ship as the fuel station exploded? What would the ramifications be? Not of necessarily Kanan surviving, but Kanan being pulled from that moment in time, and that could do a full steamroll of effect of having Kanan in the original trilogy. And
it would take everybody
Back
else
to the
out.
Future paradox.
It would take everybody else out.
Yeah.
And it would probably, you'd only save Kanan. Actually, no, you'd be in that paradox because now, Ezra would be dead. So how could he pull him out? We're in Back to the Future world.
What was Ezra
been, would be, ever was.
has been.
Hera would be dead. Sabine would probably be dead because they were on that ship. What would the ramifications be? Would he and Ahsoka be like the lone Ronin? The Ronins out there,
right?
What would happen?
See how horrible that is already. See how horrible this is. It's horrible,
right?
Horrible.
Because what we got following was so good. Also, too, you know what I mean?
But at the same time, it's intriguing to see. It would be intriguing to see something like that, as long as we don't get into the finger pointing.
It's the same thing. Though. It's the same thing because then you're gonna. It's the same principle. I mean, I don't think we can mess with Rebels, but we'd be in a paradox argument, dude. It would be constantly. It'd be this wouldn't have happened. This wouldn't have happened. Like
100%, man. And so I'll retract what I said about there not being groundwork for Star Wars to delve into an actual canon what if.
Back then was different though. We were done with the films. We were done with everything, right? So when you were getting those kind of things, you're like, it's just extra content, and we're not on the internet bitching about it, right? So nobody's fighting about we didn't have Last Jedi yet.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. And like I said, to me, as a Star Wars, as a like I said. In the world of Star Wars.
Hey, look, Facebook. Who's the Facebook user today? He said Scott Winters.
It's Scott Winters.
He got the Big Bang reference.
Did he?
Look.
Oh yeah, it's hot September. Yeah, exactly. That's why I highlighted it. It's funny. It has
I just saw that. Yeah. Sorry.
No, it's cool. Like I said and I guess that's where the talk gets into where it gets dangerous to have these kind of shows just because it might sound good on paper. The ramifications and what happens, it's like, whoa. And
if you can just take it for what Visions, it is.
Yeah. And Visions is different. It's the studios doing their own little, just fun little projects. It had nothing. There's no impact. They don't use legend characters. They don't use or legacy characters and anything like that. When you start doing that, and like Chris said, it's dangerous to be like, hey, that was a lot better than we got. And let's petition to get this in there.
Yeah.
And
we're lighting a match, dude. That's it. That thing is lit. It's ready to go when you do that.
Yeah.
What's Isaac saying here? Well, Visions.
I think that's why Visions works. It's playing in the sandbox, but there's no real impact on the Star Wars. But I am curious about some what ifs.
See, Visions is a whole other story. Are we on? Did we get a season 2 already or no?
Yeah, season 2 came out.
It came out last year.
I haven't watched it, obviously. I don't care for it. Don't care.
Right.
Didn't like the first series.
It was very set in the original trilogy era. You could tell by stormtroopers
dark side-ish. Yeah,
very, very dark side-ish. So you might like it. I don't know.
That's great. But if it doesn't matter, I don't care. That was the thing. That was the part about the first one was just, I was mad because they were all hidden in just regular anime and just threw in a couple lightsabers over their samurai swords and called it Star Wars.
Yeah,
and
here's a good
Force.
Brian C
that
has
doesn't
actually a good
work
point
for
here.
me.
Yeah, I agree. Brian C is, if we had more confidence in how the canon is being handled these days, and if it was being done better, then we'd be more
Yeah.
comfortable with the What If series? Question
Yeah.
mark.
I'd say if we were pre Last Jedi, if we were in the Force Awakens era right then, and you threw a what if out about
Yeah.
anything, we'd be okay. I don't think there would have been a trip. Once you hit Last Jedi, it opens up too much. Then you can screw around with Luke. And once you screw around with Luke and Han and Leia and Kylo, you're screwing it up. There's the stories there now. Then we don't have
too volatile. Yeah, it's too volatile at the time frame to where people would really start burning buildings over this is not my Star Wars, that's my Star Wars. And then it gets into the things.
And what's funny is, okay, take the podcast away and take the internet away, right?
Yeah.
I would 100% be in for a what if animated series.
You know,
right now, I think I'm so grossed out. I'm just grossed out by it because what's going to happen is the internet. And Scott, you said you asked, have we seen the comments about the title? No. I'm so much better in my life. I'm so much better. I don't read. I'll read the articles. I'll look at the stuff. I don't really read the comments. I'll scan. If it's positive, I'll start looking. If it's negative, I'm out of there. I'm good. I love it. But
my take on it is, to me, it's a waste of resources and time at this moment. At this point.
Oh yeah, for sure. It's bad time. I like Brian's point. Bad time. That's all.
Yeah, I love what Ahsoka's setting up. I love what Mando was setting up. I like where we're at going into. I like the current canon timeline, and this. I like this time frame post Return of the Jedi. You know, there's when we complain about it's certain things like New Republic. We hate the New Republic because they're just a bunch of cowards and they're not learning. But that's part of the system why they're failing and all that stuff. I like playing in this sandbox. I don't think like having these other projects when they're setting up. Like I said, they set the groundwork for like some really epic stuff. So why start veering direction, putting other people's heads in other places that are what ifs or side mission movies or whatever? When you can have the next 5 years just be like boom, boom, boom. I mean,
if
you can really hit it,
if you're gonna make your animation department go to work and really start putting out cool stories, then focus on Tales of the Jedi or Tales of the Sith or Tales of the Scum and Villainy. Focus on those. Focus on the stories that really matter and that can expand the universe. Don't necessarily focus on what if stories that's going to end up making the fandom more divisive. Because I'll tell you guys right now, I'm interested as an animation fan. I'd be interested. I'd watch it. It's as long as we don't get to resistance. I would watch. As long as we don't get into resistance territory where it's awful. I'm in.
But here we go. So we've already got the sequel trilogy going right now with this Rey thing, right? We've got the Mandoverse in a different part of the era, an earlier era, about to launch the sequel era, right?
Yeah.
You've got Andor going on, which is pre New Hope. You've got Bad Batch going, which is Clone Wars era, right? Post. You got the High Republic going for 300 effing years between books and the Acolyte, and you've got an old Republic movie, right? So you are way out of control with too many things for normal fans to handle time frames. Throwing a what if in there is just gonna drive everybody nuts. We can't do it. Can't do it. We're already explaining to people.
What if it's really gonna confuse?
Right? Yeah, I'm already explaining to people that I know. It's like I'm like, no, Andor is here. Blah blah blah. You got to explain things. You throw all this together. F it. The Acolyte's gonna be a bitch to explain.
It is.
When that comes.
I already said to a couple people like, wow, like, what's that? And I'm like, I'm like, oh, man, give me a piece of paper.
That should be, honestly, that one should be the easiest one to say. Oh, it takes place 300 years before Luke Skywalker.
That's fair.
Or 100 years before Luke Skywalker. That should be the easy one to explain. It's where.
Yeah.
Well, we'll find out, right?
Yeah. Oh no, I think we talked about that. I think that's going to end with why Yoda is Yoda. We end with the dogmatic view of the Jedi because they're going to do something so bad that there's no relationships allowed. That's how it needs to end. I hope that's how it ends.
That's where we're headed with the High Republic. Right now, the High Republic is kind of like anything goes. This guy's sleeping with this girl. They have relationships going on. He's dead. She's mourning him, but he's pining over her. He's fallen to the dark side. What's she going to do? It's like, okay, I can see where and Yoda in the background watching it all unravel.
See,
and Yoda is actually bringing in a dark side, a fallen Jedi, not a Sith, but a fallen Jedi, to consult with the Jedi Council on what they're dealing with in the High Republic. It's really interesting, but it's like I see this happening. I see this storm coming, and I think it's leading to the Acolyte. And I hope whenever we see the Acolyte, we don't need all that exposition from the High Republic to enjoy the show.
That's what I'm hoping. That's what I'm hoping.
They
And,
better
we
not.
get-
I
yeah.
mean,
But the thing is, you're gonna have to.
People have consumed it, so
Man, I'm excited. I'm excited for that.
Yeah.
For the potential of that, right? To set off into the Phantom Menace, to do
Skeleton Crew. Skeleton Crew is the one that's difficult to pinpoint where it's at, because why does it even exist?
I think well, it's still Mandoverse is where it's at in there. It's still there, and it's supposed to be loosely connected,
separate.
Yeah, they're going to be in that same galaxy. They're going to somehow get to Peridia, I believe,
or maybe they went the other way.
Maybe. So
who knows?
Yeah, I don't know. I am excited for Acolyte just because of the time frame it is and what the, like you guys said,
it's kind of unstressful because it's not going to screw with the sequels. I don't have to worry about it with Thrawn.
I just don't want Yoda to be tainted that bad, to be like he's the cause of air. He's the real solely the. I have a more of a high standards for Yoda than than to take his character and kind of run it through the mud.
I think that's
I do. I'm a the concept of Yoda is so powerful in the original trilogy, just what he was and what he did and his notions.
And that is a Yoda who had experienced everything that we had already witnessed.
Yeah,
that is
and I understand the failure
miserably.
teacher, and I understand that. I do. But there's also like, again, I'm not like combating. I'm not like, no. I'm just saying like I'm gonna have a hard time with throwing his character.
I'm the one that's going to be combative because I think Yoda, you're giving Yoda too much credit.
I am.
I think Yoda had his 900 years, right? And near the end of it, I think it was at this point you're starting to see it, right? And then as Luke talked about in the sequels, and I hate to use the sequels, but we saw we were wrong. Things weren't right. We had this narrow vision.
Failure is our best teacher. That's the whole thing.
And Yoda's saying that Yoda's the one that failed.
Absolutely.
Man. He said failed. You failed to have. I have to go in. We have to go into hiding. All this. He knows he failed. He blew it. That's why he went into exile. He couldn't take down the Emperor. He didn't see it coming. Yoda's the one that should have. He allowed things to happen, and I think Yoda does have.
That's Star Wars.
One of the reasons,
and
that's one of the reasons that some of the stuff from The Last Jedi that I love is Yoda and Luke's teaching of the Force and their understanding of the Force, and hindsight being 2020, all the things that the Jedi missed, and how they learn from it all, and that's the shit that I loved from The Last Jedi. It's the other stuff that wasn't so.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Again, everybody has a personal experience with Star Wars and what they take out of it, right? Like,
Yoda's quote to Luke, like even to his point, right? He says, they are what they grow beyond. We are what they grow beyond, right? Meaning even Luke's greater than Yoda in his opinion, right? He grew beyond him. And so it's, I don't know, man.
No, I get it. And
I love Yoda, and I get that he's the Grand Master, and I get all that, man. But
I don't even, there was such a spiritual character in the original trilogy, like what he did and what like
we didn't understand that he was hiding.
When I understood that he was in exile, I was like, like I didn't like it. I wanted him just to be this
from that planet
Jedi on the planet that teaches epic Jedis, and Obi-Wan knew about him and sent Luke to him. That's cool. That's mythos. That's like really George Lucas's brilliant writing in that aspect. And then when you start to put him in the center of like political stuff
in Coruscant,
that's
in the middle of the
and I'm like,
Senate, and
talking to the Grand Chancellor in his office, which by the way is just an awesome.
Look, I'm living with it, and I understand that events happen and we got to see those events, and I understand that the Jedi fell and Yoda's realizing like this is why the Jedi fell. This is why that a Sith master or Sith Lord infiltrated us and wiped us all out. I mean, there's reasons why we were so blind to it, because we were too looking at our inwards, we're too looking at our own actions.
And like I said, failure is the best teacher, right? And if he's this grand one at 900 years old on Dagobah, he's failed, he's learned, he knows what's screwed up. And actually, even at this point, he's still scared to let Luke do it, right?
Yeah.
He doesn't even want Luke to go right now. He's pissed off at Obi-Wan for suggesting it,
I mean,
even
Luke didn't
before
learn from that,
the
right?
certain point of view where he was wanting Leia, right? Forget that part. It's just he just didn't want to do it. He was gun shy, man.
Yeah, and then you had Luke telling Rey, the Jedi, it's time for the Jedi to die, right? Oh, it's all over. And he goes, no, the sacred text. It's like, wait a second, you're trying to preserve something that you just threw away a minute ago? Like, that's where where things get like
That's some of the stuff in The Last Jedi that I didn't like.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it was kind of like jumbled, right? It's like, okay, I get Luke's point. I get what he's trying to do, and I understand his lesson to Rey, but at the same time, then he has his convo with Yoda, and it's complete opposite. It's Luke Skywalker preserving the teachings that Yoda's telling him that let go, that he just told Rey to let go a minute ago. And
he creates force lightning to burn down the tree. Kind of shit was that?
I mean, there's a lot of stuff like the writers were just like, oh, they'll get it. You know, I don't understand. Just like,
they'll let this go.
I'll wait for a director's cut. I don't know. You know,
shit.
We do need a special edition of The Rise of Skywalker to make it work.
There's so much that
extended 4.5-hour version.
That there is so much there that I felt like it was taken out, and we got from like we went to A to Z, but we forgot the middle, and we just kind of like, oh, I don't know how to get to Z. Well, we'll just write it, and oh, they picked up a stick, and this made A and Z connect. Boom, they're done. No one will be the wiser. Everybody will cheer at the end. And I'll go home. Everybody forget about it. This is did you guys not? Have you even seen Star Wars?
Right. Right.
Oh, friggin' Snyder. I mean, that's where I feel
no, because he had Rebel Moon, and Rebel Moon that wouldn't have worked. It wouldn't have worked. I did the whole time. Did you guys watch? Did we talk about this last week?
I have not. I'm not interested in watching
Rebel
Moon.
So you've seen it. So it's Star Wars-y. It's a lot of things-y.
I can see where if they just changed like aesthetics and then you put it in Star Wars, like you just made the bad guys Imperials, you made the lightsabers, you made a Rebel Moon because it's like its own little faction. I can see like the umbrella story of it being Star Wars, but the whole collecting people and doing nothing at the end, that's where it was like that was supposed to be a Star Wars movie. You know what I mean?
It's got two pieces though, is the problem. So it was
got
collection
cool.
Today.
It's got really awesome characters, but then they went nowhere with it. I am anxious for part 2. I will watch part 2. And I have to tell myself this is not don't even think Star Wars when you're watching it. Just
I will say this. I guess they're going after an army, and once they got to like 6 people, they were like, all right, we got a chance.
We're gonna build an army. Let's get 4 people and we're good.
That's how it went. And like everybody's really confident. Yeah, we're gonna be all right. There's 6 of us.
Yeah, thank God you're here.
You're
the dude that we've rescued, and you can talk to animals or whatever, and you did nothing in the whole film.
I mean, it worked in Rogue One. They had a group of 6 or 7 people, and
I think that's why it was Star Warsy, right? A New Hope,
right? But they started with 6 or 7, but then the army came behind them, like
That's
because Mon Mothma. No.
She's up. No, you cannot.
Because
everybody took off without her.
She had the signals. I scratched if I go like this,
popping a Mentos and smiling.
No, you're not going to go.
There's a lot happening in chat where Isaac is calling Chris a casual fan, and Gordon popped up to his defense saying Chris is far from a casual fan. Wow, man, there's a lot happening here. What is going on? Let's see. Let's start here. Isaac Escalera. Do you think a What If series is just pandering to Star Wars nerds? I don't see casual Star Wars fans like Franz being into it. I mean, he didn't watch Visions. You're casual because you didn't watch Visions.
I think I'm a nerd because I didn't. I think I'm better because I didn't. Yeah, man, I just can't get into shit that doesn't count. It's not Star Wars. We just call it Star Wars.
I didn't finish watching it. I watched half of it, but
it doesn't excite me, man. It's always going nowhere.
That's the thing too. It's always there. Like I'm not missing. If I'm watching it, cool. But if I don't, I can always watch it later. I'm not missing it. I don't need it for talk in our,
That's hilarious. Yeah, I knew what he meant.
To be fair, only one of us has finished watching Resistance.
But to that point though, I think a casual I've watched Resistance twice. Casual.
Oh man,
it was better the second time. A casual fan, what if they will watch it? Yeah, to that point, they will watch it. They're going to put it on. People will watch that. When you put the name Skywalker in somewhere, because that's what you're going to do. You're going to end up having the legacy characters and our regular people. You're going to do a Vader a lot because Vader sells, right? And it's gonna. That's the thing. They're going to watch that. Then it's going to confuse them. That's the problem I have. The thing is, when you put Vader's name and Luke's name and everybody else's name in it, I'm going to watch it. I'm going to watch that 100%.
Oh God,
right?
yeah. I mean,
100%. And I can handle it, sure. But what it's going to do is create the havoc and the storm for the IP. I'm not mad for myself. I could give a damn. Put it out. I can take it or leave it. Visions is there. I don't care about Visions. If I watch What If and I don't like Visions or What If, I'll just send it to its merry way because it's not canon. Yeah. But the fight on the internet is what I'm dreading. And Star Wars and Lucasfilm and Disney need to be smarter than that. You are dealing with the biggest IP in the history of IPs. Yeah. Let's not screw it up anymore.
That's what I said. I want to high five again. I want to be like, this just happened and everybody went nuts. It's like, oh my God, Star Wars is bad. I don't want to see other podcasts and they say Star Wars and other people laugh. It's like, why are you laughing? Like, honestly, why are you laughing? You think Star Wars is dead? Do you think you're laughing at it because Star Wars had some hiccups, so-called hiccups on the way when people could call whatever they want? I don't want, like, you start throwing in these projects just because to sell merch or whatever. We're not in that. I mean, yes, we buy the merch, trust me. But we're not going to buy everything, and we're not going to I'm not going to buy. I honestly, I probably would not buy a What If Vader Skywalker, whatever. I
got plenty. I have tons of concept things.
That's why I don't buy the comic book
all this
figures, because they're not canon, like the old comic book ones, right? Like Star Killers or the video games, because they're not canon. I don't want stuff that doesn't blend.
It's not real. It's not okay. It's not real in my fake world. No, please.
And that's hey man, and
you always got to bring it back. We're 46 plus, and it gets
way plus.
And we're still yapping about.
We are, man, and again, but that's the thing is,
barely born or 4. And
but that's it. This our thing, and that's what we like to do. And yes, we're knee deep in this, man. And I don't want to be able to explain things in the sense like a defensive, right? Like, oh, what if it's like, oh, it doesn't mean. I want to be like, oh my God, Mando and Grogu just did this, and Thrawn's back. Oh my God, Thrawn, do you understand what Thrawn means? I had to say that to somebody the other day. I'm all, do you understand Thrawn's impact of him coming and the dangerous route this can take? Yes, he's an awesome character, but he needs to be story.
Yeah. We should be in the throes of story ecstasy right now between what's going on in the Mandoverse, what's happened with Ahsoka, all of that. We should be in the throes.
And that's where I'm at, Scott.
What's coming? Right.
Yeah.
But the internet doesn't get it. And I don't understand why. We keep
getting derailed by these things, being like, array movies coming. Cares? Here comes What If? Who cares?
Even then, I see the term terrible writing with Mandalorian, with Ahsoka, I'm like, what are you watching? What are you seeing that we are not seeing? So it's the internet, man. We should be in the throes of ecstasy right now.
I am again, and that's the trick, Scott. I got off that net. I see it. I'm so much better. I love it. And I have tried. Remember, I used to have to type and fight myself and delete it. Remember that I was doing that for a long time. Erasing it. Now I'm to the point where like, nah.
No, I like,
and I feel better. That's what
I like
to do that.
Getting the rumors that hold a little merit, or maybe just something that's ridiculous to talk about. I do like doing like theory crafting on future content, not existing content. Like, it's fun to say if Obi-Wan died here.
There's the other point. What if in 3,000 years?
Sure. Cool. The bloodline of Palpatine, is it killed off because Rey's the carrier, an actual carrier of the bloodline, and could that be the new generation of Skywalkers? That would be kind of cool, the theory craft and What If, right? Like, what if?
Yeah.
What's that?
Yeah.
I said you make it sound like an STD. The Palpatine Rey's a carrier.
I mean, a carrier.
Why is she so ashamed of her name, and why she had to take the Skywalker name? I mean, like Leia struggled with it because when but she come to terms with it also. When everybody found out she was the daughter of Anakin Skywalker, and everybody
she came to terms with it by starting the Resistance.
That's
And
what I'm
she
saying.
stuck
But
with Organa, so she didn't.
But
didn't
when
take
everybody
this.
found out, she didn't want that secret out, and then eventually she, everybody knew eventually, and then it got it, and
20
still
odd years
accepted her.
later.
Yeah, still accepted her. Which that's what I'm saying.
Some did, but then it turned
Yeah.
to the internet on her. Remember, half the people will like you, half the people won't, and that's how.
Yeah.
It works. But that's what so back to that point about being, like I said, happier. I just figured I decided to just like my Star Wars again, like what I like, don't like what I don't like, and then talk about it on here with you guys for our listeners. Our 3,000 are pretty positive about stuff that get obviously passionate about stuff.
Well, I mean, like I said, I like where the Disney Plus is going. I like the Disney Plus era of Star Wars. I don't think I honestly, I was watching, because again, you go through like, okay, let's see on Star Wars, and you go, oh, the movies I just went through. So like, I'm not gonna sequels. I can't bring myself to hit play because then I have to think about it. And then I'm like, oh, Book of Fett. I'm gonna watch episode 1 again. And then I watch episode 1 of Book of Fett, and I'm like, I get it. And it's good, but it's just, I know where my problem lies, but it's not a huge problem. It ain't a huge problem at all. And it's actually really good. And
if you weren't getting fired up from the internet, would you have cared as much in the first place?
Like,
the first time I have to realize.
It,
right. Would I have been as riled up? Well, I was.
I don't think so. I think there was
riled, but but as we talked through it with everybody, and you've seen the comments, and it was just constant.
It's funny. It's funny how it works. We sit there and you go, ooh, that didn't sit well. And I know it didn't sit well with Chris and Scott. And then you start to like, I know where the problem lies. And then you go like, I'm going to know where I'm going to wake up in the morning and this is going to be a problem. I know exactly. Like, that's how we're all connected. In the same time.
Same with Obi-Wan, same with Mando. Yeah.
You start out with the fear of what they could screw up. You get angry at what they do. You hate them for what they've done to you. And then we're all suffering.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And then you have Luke Skywalker's hallway moment. And then you're like, I love Star Wars. You know what I mean? Like, that's where everybody's high-fiving,
Star Wars is golf. I'll go 15 holes deep. I'm like, F this game. I've got a 9 on every single hole, blah, blah, blah. And you hit one 300 yards.
I'm the best ever.
And you approach. I love this game. This game is awesome. What'd you shoot today?
On
16, I nailed one. You just need that one piece to bring you back. That's what Mando did. Mando won, right? We got Mando 1. It was like, oh.
Yeah.
What is this? Is a fresh piece of love, and everybody agreed on it.
Yeah, this is great.
Papa Schmitty, right on.
When I watch a show, Papa Schmitty says, when I watch a show or movie and say to myself, "What the f with that?" I don't need the internet to tell me how bad it was. 100%.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, we.
But would you?
No, you
do. But then you get angry, right? We get angry because I
know
when I watch Book of Boba Fett, because it becomes your personality, you're defending.
Exactly. Now I'm defending.
And that's what it is.
This happens.
That's what gets me worked up. It's because then I hate just the whole thing of it.
Yeah,
I hate it all.
Yeah.
Right.
See,
that's the drag, man.
Here's part of the problem. We have a YouTube channel. We put out content on that YouTube channel. The comments on our YouTube channel that we usually try to reply to, because the more you reply to the content, the more the content gets pushed out in front of algorithms, man. The more we comment on the stuff, the more it gets pushed out there in front of other people to see. The bigger our channel grows. We want to share this with everybody, right? Yeah. And unfortunately, it's those comments that we're dealing with on YouTube that are just garbage.
There's some. There's some.
I like that though, but it feeds the algorithm, and they might have a point. Now, here's the deal, man. I don't agree with everything everybody says on this show all the time. We're all usually bright 90% on stuff, right? But
I'm 99.
They want to say their piece and have at it. Cool. Just be respectful, and I'm down with it. They call us a bunch of douchebag, bald-headed old men, 50-year-old senior citizen guys. Then I'm going to take offense for Scott.
Right.
But
for Scott,
I'm not 50 yet. Wait a minute. Hang on.
Whatever.
Hold that thought, because I'm. That's right.
I'm cool now.
Yeah,
use that at all today.
No, I get it, man. It's
the beginning fired up.
Yeah. I guess you can always, or we and everybody else listening, we can always reassure that we will always consume Star Wars, be critical. We want to be critical, not where we need to be. And if something doesn't sit right, we'll talk through it, but we'll consider, like, look, I can't bring myself to watch sequels, but I'll watch. I mean, if I was forced, I would be like, okay, I'm not going to like leave. You know what I mean? If content comes out that makes me go like, okay, this made the sequels bet, like you said, if if Ahsoka gets into, or whatever the Mandoverse gets into, and we start getting Snoke into this stuff, then I was like, you know what? Snoke is intertwined into this Disney Mandoverse, and all right, I'm gonna see. Now I'm interested. Now I'm like marinating it more. Now I'm bringing it all together. We'll always be grateful for the cool stuff that we get. We'll always be constructively critical for stuff that we don't, that kind of doesn't sit right. Just because it doesn't sit right with us, it's because it either doesn't make sense, or it went too far with something, or something was way off. Like
our theory of craft was way better.
Yeah. And at the same time, we will always be here the following Wednesday talking Star Wars. We will never just dismiss it as much as sometimes that I want to.
Man. Like, what if might make me bounce?
Yeah, it depends. It depends. Yeah, no, it never make me balance, but it depends on like the first time I'll ever refuse to watch content, and it's not because I don't want. It's just I think it's a waste of time. That's all. It's a waste of resources.
It depends on what I'll watch it. I'm gonna watch. If they put a what if, I'm gonna watch it, but I'm gonna hate it, and I'm gonna hate it, and I'm gonna hate it because I know what it's going to turn into. I'll like it for me, and I'll sit there and I'll probably, if it's good, I'll probably watch it a few times, right? Like
sure.
I love it,
sure.
But that counts. That's awesome. I like Scott's point, man. If you're gonna do all this work, just do it on something that counts.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. But I would have a hard time watching something that's that good that doesn't mean anything to like
shit. The gauntlet has been thrown.
Oh, go ahead.
What if Chris recorded another Hoth topic?
I do have a new Wampa pillow. I got a Wampa rug. I got all this Wampa stuff. I need to because my wife did get me to lay down the big Wampa rug for the floor.
I know. I seen it.
Yeah,
I seen it too.
It might be time. Maybe I'll just lay down and do one on there in front of the fireplace.
Light a
candle. I will. I'm sorry. That's how I gotta do it. I'm gonna sit there laying across, just the Goldblum pose.
That'd be cool.
And just rock it. Okay, that's what we're gonna talk about.
Yeah, I actually going
so we can see the tattoo.
Yeah, of course. Roll it up.
Yeah. Oh, I'll wear tanks. Wait till I get it finished. Wait till I wrap it up.
But yeah, I mean, like I can, we consume and it's all fun. I was like I said, I'm gonna actually go and watch more of Book of Fett. And it's not honestly, I already know what's the story and everything, but it's for those cool moments. Like when I was watching episode 2 and the twins came, I was like, that's awesome. And then Blacker Santa, that's freaking awesome. And there was so much going on in episode 2. I'm like, okay, I want Cad Bane's coming. He just got the Rancor. I go, okay, now there's some really cool stuff going on in it that I want to see, that I want to revisit.
The Mandalorian episodes?
And the Mandalorian episode or 2.
Luke.
Right?
Luke,
So like,
because he was on that Ring World first, right? That was gangster Star Wars. He walked in and threw a head on a table.
Yeah, that was
cool.
Yeah,
that was badass.
And we got the Night of 1,000 Tears montage. We got I mean, there's some cool things going on in that, and I can't just throw it away. I can't say that was all Logan,
bad, throughout for no apparent reason.
Yeah,
right.
Young Daniel Logan too.
Daniel Logan. Yeah. That was a lot of work to get that done for no reason.
Well, yeah, and as I'm revisiting it, it's funny. Like we actually should do a retrospective of Book of Fett one day, like a whole thing, and analyze it again because there's a lot of like.
Can we watch it by next week?
Coming into character, yeah. Why not? I mean,
can you do it by next week, Scott?
Do what? What was that?
Can you rewatch Boba Fett by next week?
Oh, I just did. I finished it last week.
All right, then I'll do it this week. I'll wrap it up.
I think it'd be cool because. Yeah, because there is some extra talk on that running to the window, seeing Jango Fett take off, finding his place in the world, and how he came to terms of what he did on Mos Espa, why he did what he did on Mos Espa. There's some new insights, maybe not good, maybe not like epiphany, like oh my god. There's like okay, I get it. Maybe Boba Fett had this. Been there, done that. Now we want to try something new, and it all had to do with the Sand People and everything. So there's some more stuff that we can kind of like talk ourselves into or out of. Who knows? We could just like, screw that up. It was just bad, but it'd be cool to revisit. So
yeah, I'm due.
That's why I'm like, I just did that with Kenobi again. I'm like, I'm having fun. Certain parts of Kenobi, I had real fun with it. Like, there's some.
I don't have a lot of problem with Kenobi at all. I still love Kenobi. It's the TV.
That's it. Just all the Inquisitors storyline, their existence. What that was my only problem with the Kenobi.
Just the villain's existence.
Not that they exist, it's just that they did nothing. And the
Yeah,
whole killing
okay.
someone to bring them back, it was dumb. I don't
Yeah,
like
you
that.
know what?
I still
That
take it that
is
I'm
dumb, and the fact that Inquisitors are Inquisitors and they're walking around not killing people, and
They're not
the fifth brother stops Reva from killing. So people. I'm like, just let her kill whoever.
They
she
let that
wants.
one
Why would she
Jedi go.
care?
They caught up to him later, but they let him go. It's
Why?
like-
and they stop her from getting him.
they stopped
Right.
him from getting, and he did his whole
Yeah.
speech about how to trap Jedi, and they just watched him run away.
Yeah, you're right.
Aw,
Okay,
man.
I don't really shit. I
It's
guess
the
I didn't
bad guys
bother
in
with
it.
that.
Yes,
But you know what?
The special effects, man, the ships get me.
yeah, that too.
Yeah, what gets me in that one is the Vader and Obi-Wan stuff together, right? And
Yeah.
Ben
Perfect.
and Leia
Perfect.
are
Yes.
freaking phenomenal.
Perfect.
When they're on that truck and
Yes.
talking with the stormtroopers, I love that. And then the last scene where he talks to her on Coruscant, I'm getting choked up now thinking about it. Those are some of the best Star Wars things
on that
with
truck
Leia,
scene.
period.
When Obi-Wan admits that he had a brother, I saw this video saying like Balin's connection to Obi-Wan because he had that thing with the names of everybody, all the Skywalker's names. And I think I don't know if Kenobi's name was on there on his wrist thing, but like, could Balin be the lost brother of Obi-Wan?
I could have thought so, but since Hu Yang knew who he was already,
he did know who he was, but when they were separated, they weren't.
And Balin knew
all those names.
And Balin
right?
knew Anakin. It's just like,
but they know who they are, but they don't know where they came from, or they do they, or does he?
Anakin came from his mom, and his name is still Anakin.
Hu Yang is only a lightsaber smith, and the history soon they know the person as soon as they build their lightsaber, his database.
No,
but they don't know before that.
I think Ahsoka's name was Ahsoka in hers, and Anakin's name was Anakin when they met him, and Ahsoka was a baby when she was found. I mean, going to be taken.
Yeah, so I guess if it would be like Balin Kenobi or something, or
you would know
his last name. Who knows?
Yeah.
I get, but there was it made you think because again, it had that.
I suppose they could. Yeah, I suppose they could change it. If they knew they were brothers and they didn't want them to know. Jedi are kind of jacked up, like, oh God, give me that story. There's your what if.
What I want to see is in Tales of the Jedi, I want to see Balin and Anakin together in Tales of the Jedi in a Tale of the Clone Wars, something because they knew each other.
How they cross paths.
You know what? Actually, when I said that a second ago, I was thinking, I'm trying to think of what he said. Because she's all, you knew Anakin. I don't remember him saying you. He's all, well,
everybody in the Republic knew Anakin.
So maybe they never really even crossed. He was just Anakin.
Knew of him.
He was the most famous Jedi. Remember they made that clear in where was that made clear? Was that the original, the two-part, the short Tartakovsky? When they said how, or was it a book?
It was
a book how Obi-Wan and Anakin are the most famous Jedi.
It was the Revenge of the Sith novelization. The first chapter in the Revenge of the Sith novelization. There you go. Where they go. Yes. And it's just like they're tabloid leaders. Everything they do in the war is broadcast for everyone to see. And kids are being trained to be General Skywalker in the street type of thing. Yeah, they're playing in the streets as Skywalker and Kenobi. Yeah. So that's pretty. It's pretty known. So it depends. I mean, that's a cool thing to know. But they do cross paths. That would be interesting to know. That would be cool to know. Or just maybe they cross paths, but just having more Balin history, I think would be great. I don't know if they'll touch it until his story is done. But I think with Tales of the Jedi is a great place to do it because then you could do the animation. Tales would be amazing. You get somebody to voice him would be great. That's a character that needs more exploration. Yeah,
you know why? Because it made it so cool. Man, it was written well. It was acted well. It was like it made us go, "Holy crap! I've got a new icon to put on the list of like Star Wars characters that I really are into." Both Balin, Shin. And that's what's great about Star Wars. They give us such good content to add to, continue our data, our talking and stuff like that. It's not like there are certain throwaway characters. Like in Mando, that one kid that betrayed Fennec and shot her in the stomach and all that stuff. That's a throwaway character. Nobody cares about that kid. But Balin, I mean, he was so good, and his purpose it was just so good. Yeah, that's what
I didn't care. I didn't care about Fennec, to be honest, either. She was cool, but I didn't need her.
Still don't. I mean, she's cool, but like the whole Master, she's just sitting there. I don't know. They feel. I still feel lost. Like they're lost. In this,
like I said, I just finished watching Book of Boba Fett last week or the week before last, and her role. I'm paying attention to her, and I'm like,
Why?
She's the one that's really calling the shots here.
Oh, I'm
She's
saying that's
calling the
his-
shots
that's
because
what
she
pisses
owes
me
him a
off.
life debt. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
No,
If
she shouldn't be
owes him-
called. No, she doesn't. Boba doesn't do anything without her. That's what I'm saying. That's what was pissing me
Yeah,
off on the
it's-
show the entire time. Well, who's in charge here? Is it Boba or is it her? It's like,
Yeah.
what are you
Boba
doing?
seems to be fumbling through this whole thing and calling himself a crime lord. Nobody. It's
Maybe
just
we
like,
don't need a retrospective. I don't want to
Yeah.
watch it.
yeah. Never mind.
Actually, maybe we should
Sorry,
cut
guys.
this.
Sorry.
We should save this conversation for next week anyway. I suppose.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
Damn.
All right,
Anyway.
we'll start that, and then we'll figure out what else. Hey, let's see what else drops within the next week. You know what happens? What other rumors are what derailment projects are happening or not happening, and all that stuff. So we'll see.
I'm ready for Lando. Come on now, bring it.
Yeah, I think they got to get something out solid first before they announce any new projects. They got to get something.
Wouldn't it be
besides
nice
this-
if that just magically appeared one day?
Yes,
Kenobi.
I would love it.
Like Kenobi,
Yes.
it was announced. It wasn't on the slate. It was announced and it was out.
Yeah,
man.
that's all.
I
That's all
mean,
want, something like that.
100%. But yeah. So anyway, guys, let's get out of here. Thank you so much, everybody in the pit. Like, subscribe, hit that bell notification in case you get all of the stuff when we go live or just new content, of course. Scott, you want to take it away, or do you want me to
Sure.
just okay, go ahead.
No, I'll take it away.
Get
I was
us
waiting
outta
for you
here.
to say, Scott, get us. Okay, there we go. There it is. Thanks everybody for joining us for another rousing episode of the Sarlacc Digest. If you would please, as Mooch said, hit that like button, subscribe, hit the bell notification, drop a comment below. As I said before, the comments really help. It helped push our content out there to everybody else. We are small but mighty. We've got a brand new, what is it, 3,010, I think we now have followers.
14 last I heard.
All right, there we go. All right, let's try to end 2024 at 5,000. Let's see if we could do that. How about let's push the Sarlacc Digest to 5,000 followers?
Easy money.
Easy.
Easy.
That
I'm
just
creating
Because
accounts
we
as
have
speak.
3,000 followers. Obviously, if they each just have one,
They tell a
person-
friend, and then they tell a
Right?
friend.
one person, folks. If you each just get one person or 10 to subscribe,
Yeah.
then we're there.
We'll hit this 5,000 mark. Easy peasy.
We can't do this
So-
alone. Hey,
That's
we
right.
wouldn't make this $3.17 a month if we didn't have this many folks. Let's get us to $10. Let's do this.
That'd be amazing. So hey, we
Marco's
our
all
new
stop talking cash.
Yeah. It's like,
They're not real numbers, Marco.
We have our new follower, Jeff. Jeff, welcome aboard. Please tell a friend. Let them know that you just found your new favorite Star Wars podcast on YouTube. Subscribe today. What else? Follow us on our Instagrams. I am the Art of Scott Solo. Darth Moocher there. He is Tashi Station Emporium for all your action figure stand needs, and mine are all occupied right now. So I'll just bring down Grand Admiral Thrawn here. I almost
I
said
actually
Franz.
cleaned my
I
desk, believe it or
know.
not, so I don't have any.
Look at that. Look at that. These stands right here will keep your figures upright when
During
all others
earthquakes.
fail. Nothing fell in the earthquake. I'm actually pretty shocked that nothing fell during the earthquake.
I'm not. I have confidence in my product.
That's right. We've got Grand Admiral Franz down below. He is your mama's favorite podcaster. Of
He told
course
me.
he is.
It's true.
That's
true.
what she said.
Because I'm wholesome.
You can also follow your fucking.
Got the cheeks.
I'm sorry, you're wholesome. Wow. Okay. You can also follow Ernie the Fallen Fed, who did not join us today, but check him out at
He's still
the-
podcasting.
that- Is he still
What the
podcasting?
hell,
He
Ernie?
should be on here with us. I know, right? And Bootleg Joe, bootleg_760 on Instagram for some really cool toy photography. And as always, Godzilla talk, because he loves himself some Godzilla and wrestling. So let's see, what else have we got? That's Tashi Station Emporium. That's all of our social medias. Facebook, go to Facebook. We've got the Star Wars community brought to you by the Sarlacc Digest podcast. Go ahead and join us there to keep this conversation flowing. Don't forget TikTok and our 1 minute toy reviews every day here on this channel. 11 a.m., 12 p.m., sometime around that time. Every day there's a new toy review dropping. So I don't think there's anything else to say other than keep it nerdy, everybody.
Watch Book of Fett.
Watch Book of Boba Fett so we can talk about it.
You got
Yeah.
homework for next week, folks.
We're gonna talk about it regardless, but we'll talk about the cool parts.
He already,
You already said keep it nerdy. You already said that.
Yeah, he already
Oh.
remained geeky. Let's move on.
Oh god dang! With
Turn
that,
off.
Chris.
Bye.
This is Grand Admiral Thrawn. You are listening to the Sarlacc Digest. What a fascinating play on words.